All right, Shreya. So congratulations from entire law prep tutorial,
Thank you,
and it
ma'am.
was a great achievement.
Thank you, ma'am.
So let us know, like, what inspired you to pursue law as a career.
Ma'am, I was actually inclined, I am inclined towards UPSC, the CSC examinations. So I always had an interest in that. So my parents suggested if you have to graduate in something, why not law? Because most of the subjects are streamlined to the way UPSC, CSC exams are. And I always also had an interest in law since the very beginning, also because of the UPSC thing as well. So it kind of propelled for me to pursue law. So I started my preparation around in September 2023. So that was when it started.
Great, great. So currently, like, you are in 12th, you are managing your board examination, and at the same time, you were preparing for CLAT and AILET. So just wanted to know, like, how you have balanced your board preparation with your AILET and CLAT preparation.
Yeah, right. So it was actually very stressful at first because when I started it in my 11th grade, I was actually in the science stream. I had PCM as my subjects. So at that moment, it got really stressful for me because those subjects require a special attention. And at that time, I could not allocate sufficient time to my CLAT preparation. So in 12th, I took a call. I was like, if I want to go ahead with this thing, I think I should drop science because it is not giving me any kind of advantage or edge over other aspirants. So why not pursue humanities for that case? So my college agreed and I shifted my stream to humanities. And I wouldn't say it has been very smooth, but still it is relatively a lot, it relatively takes a lot less time than science used to take. So I think my only advice would be कि just prioritize. I mean, you do the bare minimum because see, abhi December के बाद I don't have anything to do. I just have to prepare for boards. So if you prepare really well for these two exams all this way and do the bare minimum that you have to do for your school ka thing, then it is going to be really good because after December you don't have to do anything, you have to do boards only. So I think prioritizing and knowing what is actually important is really important in this case. So I mean just prioritize, just know what you want. CLAT is more important than boards, just prioritize that.
Wonderful. So, like, here you wanted to give the message to CLAT preparing students, maybe 2026 or 2027, that
Yeah.
it's better to go for humanities than any other stream.
I wouldn't अभी तो you can give it in any stream, but if you
Mhm.
don't have a very like if you are like not having that much of an interest in science, I don't think there's any point pursuing if your CLAT is final thing for you because it isn't really making you gain anything. Because जो maths है, people say कि science में you'll get an edge in maths and stuff. वो maths बहुत ही ज़्यादा complex है. ये तो 10th का maths पूछ रहे हैं and you can do it when you're solving sheets and stuff. So actually, if you look at it, you're not getting any kind of advantage in pursuing. If you're very headstrong कि मुझे CLAT ही करना है, ALET ही करना है, तो I don't think there's a point in pursuing
Yes, and
science.
as you have mentioned, like maths, so maths is something which is a fear for most of the students. So, like, if I talk about maths as a subject, and you said that एकदम 10th level का ही maths आता है. So, do you think that becomes a challenge for you while preparing for your AILET or CLAT preparation?
ALET में तो there's no math, so no point in that. But in CLAT, I guess, yeah, sometimes it does. I mean, during mocks, if we see, तो कभी कभार, there's a time mismanagement. So,
Mm-hmm.
and when you see some kind of QT that you're not familiar with, so it kind of gets a bit, unpleasant situation हो जाती है. But I think the only key is practicing. And what CLAT 2025 told us कि practicing from diverse sources.
Yes,
Practicing
absolutely.
because exactly we've been doing ratio proportion percentages and stuff, but CLAT 2025 was a different game changer. They asked allowance based question. Now the person who has diversified their sources in preparing QT had a really good edge. So I think and a very good insight from CLAT 2025 is to diversify the kind of QT that you do. Don't do one thing. अभी आपको पता चल जाएगा आपने 5-6 क्वेश्चंस कर लिए, you will understand कि I'm good at this thing, ratio proportion अब कुछ आ जाए तो I'll do it. Now go through things that you've not yet come across and try to do them. That is really important because CLAT can put any kind of curveball as they did in 2025 in respect to QT at least. So I think that is very important. Practicing from diverse sources and diverse topics. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think wonderfully explained. Next, I would just like to ask from all my students' side, like this is something that everybody wants to know, that which is the section which you found that it was challenging for you, and how did you overcome it during
In
your
respect to
preparation?
AILET,
AILET, yes.
yeah. In respect, it's now see, like I think GK is challenging for every single aspirant, and I was no different. GK, I used to do so much of GK, and from every source that I could find, but still I could not make reassure myself कि यार मेरी preparation अच्छी चल रही है. And if you see
Mm-hmm.
this year's GK was actually moderate to difficult. They kind of pulled a AILET 2023, if, in my opinion. Static
Mm-hmm.
was present, but not the way it was in 2024. This year, there was an emphasis on really unrelated questions. Like there was this question about some football club that won it in 2003 ASEAN Football Summit something.
Yes.
So that was totally unrelated because it was not even in current affairs to my knowledge. So I think for that, GK was really weak for me. But I think you have to trust your sources at the end of the day. Not meandering much, but somehow having a belief कि हाँ mainstream topics I'm covering very well, and I think CLAT Express helped a lot in that because it's kind of streamlined. The 10 to 12 major topics जो है month के they are given,
Mm-hmm.
and also static part is covered, which is very important because AILET or CLAT for that matter doesn't only solely focus on current affairs. They do focus on static. So GK was one sore point for me. Another would be logical reasoning में analytical reasoning वाला part.
Mm-hmm.
Certain topics now, the mainstream topics like silogs, data arrangement and stuff, I was very
Mm-hmm.
familiar with, but
Mm-hmm.
some dicey topics like clocks and calendars was a bit
Mm-hmm.
tough for me. So if it would show up in a paper, I would be really panicked. Thankfully, it did not, but I think you should be prepared in every case.
Okay.
Okay.
So since you have mentioned, like, how we can work on the challenging areas, now here I wanted to, know, like how the mentorship and the resources plays an important role. You have joined with Law Prep Tutorial. So how it has helped you in your preparation?
Yeah, so I was a part of Law Prep Tutorial Super 30 batch,
Mm-hmm.
and I think the resources were absolutely very good. I think the mocks, and for me, I think CLAT Express was really, I mean, something that I was like very, like it's a very good resource for GK, in my opinion. So mocks played a very good role as well, along with CLAT Express, the GK magazine of this is really good. And I think the constant support, and the Anupama ma'am sent us these messages and everything from every step of the way. She was like
Mm-hmm.
every day she was sending certain kind of material and resources, so they were also helpful. So yeah, overall experience at Law Prep Tutorial was really insightful, and they did really play an instrumental part in my preparation.
Shreya. So, like, you have been to Law Prep Tutorial Nagpur also for a few mocks,
Yeah.
and just wanted to know, like, how do you think how mock tests play a crucial role in somebody's preparation and solving previous year paper at the same time for their success?
Yeah. I think mocks. I think it's the importance is really you can't. I mean, gauge कि इतने ज़्यादा important mocks are really important. And because they see, it's like your performance in mock is not something that will happen in the final exam, that's for sure. But एक mirror तो जरूर दिखाता है mocks to you. And it is really important to get that kind of experience before exam, and getting it repeatedly is just a golden chance for you. And I would really suggest going for offline mocks because I, for a majority part of my preparation, was giving mocks from home. And when I went and gave them at a center, like I went to LPT का Nagpur center as well, the experience just hits different. It's something very different because you don't keep in mind, you're like पहले तो OMR पूरा वो भरना पड़ता है, and then you have to stay double cautious during doing that, and then there is some kind of background noise as well. So this is something that makes you ready for the D day, and it is really important. And mocks in itself are also very important because they're based on the way the previous year papers have been. And previous year papers ka I would like to say one thing is कि because what I did was for AILET at least, up till I gave two mocks in the last week, like 1 to 8 December mein jo tha, I gave two mocks, but
Mm-hmm.
most of my emphasis was on PYQs from 2020 to 2024. Because let's face it, they want to have the kind of reasoning. We need to understand what kind of reasoning that is. Examiner को जो चाहिए वो हमें समझने के लिए previous year papers is the only way. So
Absolutely.
doing them thoroughly and understanding the reasoning is really important in my opinion.
Okay, so last, like, what advice would you like to give to the future, AILET aspirant who will be writing in 2026 or 2027?
Stay consistent. I think very you will get the resources along the way. Resources are there, resources are plenty. You need to just because sometimes people are like यार मेरे पास तो ये mock ही नहीं है, वो mocks का source ही नहीं है and stuff like that. Resources will be plenty. You'll understand that as soon as you get into that CLAT or AILET का zone, you need to understand which resources are important for you. You need to chart it out, and I think staying consistent is really important. One thing that happened with me was that I somehow had lost my motivation and confidence to pursue CLAT like in October or something. I was like, yeah, because I was really burnt out, I would say. I was doing
Hmm,
the same thing
hmm.
again and again and again. But keep faith in yourself, yeah. I mean, just have a flashback here. I have done so many things and I can do it later on as well. So, and to have that kind of memories, you need to be consistent from now on. And if you are consistent enough, if you're giving the thing that you need to give na, there is no stopping you. Rank to aa hi jayega. Just be consistent, prioritize your school ka and CLAT ka thing, and I think that is something that will surely get it.
And thank you so much, Shreya. It was really
Thank you.
insightful, and I'm sure those who are listening to us will certainly take the tips from you and will look up to, like, how we can go ahead with the preparation. So that
Yes.
is all from my end.